Greetings everyone and welcome back to 365 Days of Prog. Yes, I've decided to rebrand back to the original name of 365 Days of Prog. Anyway, today we're doing what's written in the title of this video. I am doing a giveaway contest for a vinyl record. Now I'm gonna elaborate on all of this in just a second, how you can get in, how you can participate, what are the rules, do you have to pay money, you don't, and yeah, but we'll do all of that after the short intro. Welcome back. So as I said, we're doing a giveaway today, and I'm not giving away just a single vinyl record that you can win. I'm actually making it a decision between the 3 different vinyl records, and the records are as follows. Firstly, we have this lovely one by King Crimson. This is Discipline. Of course, the name is written backwards here, but this is Discipline by King Crimson, released in 1981, and it's the first of their 80s trilogy. It's a lovely album which I've acquired quite a while back into my collection, and well, I must say that I just don't play it that often, despite me thinking that it's really good. This specific copy does have some blemishes on it, some, rough edges, but honestly, if this one just doesn't exist in your collection and you want to try and win it, you might want to enter this contest. Secondly, we have an album that is not actually a studio album of a band, but I would still urge you to try and get this one because it's really, really sweet. Of course, I'm talking about this Gentle Giant Italian compilation. This beauty here found its way into my collection in a time before they re-released a lot of Gentle Giant's albums on new vinyls, and thus finding an original copy used to cost so much money, so you basically had no other option except for looking for an album like this, which is actually a Gentle Giant compilation album. Yes, this Italian compilation is actually really, really good, and it has some really great tracks on it, and they're all the studio recordings of it, not those weird bootleg live recordings if you might think that. I would urge you to get this album. They've made an excellent job with pairing the songs on here, and it was definitely a long time play on my turntable up until I got a lot of the new releases of Gentle Giant's music on vinyl. And last but not least, the third option that you can try and win in this contest is no other than Yes's Tornado. Yes, I know it's not close to the edge and it's not fragile or anything, but it's a really interesting album to say the least. I got it for one particular song back in the day, which was Don't Kill the Whale. I still like that one and I'm gonna die on this hill. But it's a really interesting album, and again, if you don't have it in your collection, this is your chance to win it for yourself. Of course, this one also has some blemishes on it, but this is just me offering you some vinyl records that you just might not own in your collection. And all of them play wonderfully, they don't have a lot of major scratches in them, and if they do, they don't affect the play at all. But anyway, you might be asking, what are the rules of this competition? Well, in order to enter this giveaway contest, you have to do 2 things. The first one is subscribing to the channel. I want to see your support, and you have to know if you want or not, and you'll have to be notified for it, and the only way that's possible is by subscribing to the channel and see whenever I upload the update video on the winners of the competition. And secondly, I am giving you all an assignment to submit, which will determine which one will win this one record that they choose. So your task is creating a Prog EP, which basically means that you have to create a sort of mini Prog album compiling several songs on it. The specific rules are as follows. Firstly, this EP's playlist has to consist only of Prog songs or songs made by Prog bands. Secondly, it has to have at least 4 songs in it, so no one's putting like one singular really long song. That just doesn't work like that. I want to see how you can manage pairing at least 4 songs together, if not more. Thirdly, the entire EP has to be between 20 to 30 minutes long, no less and no more. The fourth rule states that there's no artists repeat, thus if you've put one specific artist into your EP, you cannot put that artist again in another song. The fifth rule, seeing as this is in fact a Prog EP, is that there has to be at least one instrumental piece on it. I don't care how long it is, it can be 30 seconds and it can be 10 minutes, but it has to be one instrumental to be found on your playlist. And lastly, give your EP a name. It's really important. I want to think what you think about it by encapsulating it with one title. Now, I'll just give you a few things to think about when you are creating your prog EP. Firstly, just think about the theme. Think about how the different songs tie into one another. Do they sound the same? Do they flow into one another? Do they feel disjointed, or do they feel very well combined with one another? Make this a listening experience like no other. Try and make the EP that was never created and was just waiting to be born from the tips of your fingers. Another thing to determine is its replayability value, which basically means would you like to listen to this EP multiple times? So whenever you're done compiling all the songs together, give them a listen and see if you want to listen to it again. If you do, it's a good sign that it's probably well made, and thus I might also enjoy it. And another thing to consider, and this is really important, you don't have to stray away from making it obscure. Even if you don't think that I know the music, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be included on it. And what I mean by that, don't just fill your entire EP with Genesis, and yes, I would really like to hear some things that are new to me and a weird combination of songs that don't quite match together, at least not naturally, but make it work somehow. Now, I think there's really no better way for you to understand what I'm expecting of you to create for this contest, so I'll explain it with an example that I've made myself. This is my EP that I've made, and I've given it the illustrious title of A Day in the Life of a Nasturtium called Samuel Pickling. Personally, I've opted to design an album cover for this one, but you don't really have to do that. And the songs that I've put on here are only 5. The first one being Constant Bloom by Moon Safari, followed up next by Rendezvous 602 by UK, and then followed up by no other than Rush's YYZ. And it's important to note YYZ is my personal instrumental on this piece. It is followed up, of course, by All Alone by England, a really short track to just fit snugly inside of there, and of course it ends off with a big crescendo of Lamente Vola by Alpha Taurus, and that is my personal submission, but of course yours can differ in many varying ways. So by this point you've probably decided which album you're gonna try and go at, and I'll tell you this, the way to submit your playlist is very simple. It can be done in one of 3 ways. The first one, and the most preferable one, is creating a Spotify playlist and sending me the link for it. Of course that would just be really simple for me to open it up, listen to it whenever I can, and thus I'll probably have the best time with it. The second option though, for those of you who don't use Spotify, is just creating a YouTube playlist. Search up all the songs that you want to put on the playlist in their correct order and compile them into one playlist which bears the title of your EP, and of course send the link to me for me to listen to it. And the third way you can do it, and it's pretty less preferable, but you can also just send me an email with the names of the songs and the artist and to name the order, and I'll just listen to them on my own, but I'd really love it if you just didn't do so. And all of the submissions should be sent to the official 365 Days of Prog email, which appears just down here. It's 365daysofprog@gmail.com. Send it there and I'll be taking submissions up until the 1st of June. Then I'll close the submissions and I'll announce the winners on my birthday, which happens to be on June 10th, 2023. But before you go ahead and start sending me all your lovely EPs, I have to apologize for one thing. I will be sending one of these 3 lovely records basically almost anywhere on Earth except for where I cannot do so because of restrictions in my country. So unfortunately, the countries on the screen right now are places where I can simply not send mail to. So if you reside in one of those, I am very sorry, but you unfortunately cannot enter this competition. Although you can enter it, you'd just not be able to receive one of these vinyl records from me. So yeah, go ahead, full throttle, make your prog EPs, give them a name and send them over my way so I can start listening to them ASAP. Again, I'm reminding you that you have to subscribe to the channel and submit your EP, and those are the criteria for being a part of this competition, and hopefully I'll get a lot of submissions from you. Anyway, that's about it guys. I'm waiting to see and hear everything that you send over my way, and the winners will be announced on June 10th, 2023. But until then, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys.